Alrighty.
Well, I've already been warned. She just doesn't like when I babble. I have to be quick because I've only got a time limit now. I've wasted how much of it now?
You think 20 minutes? That's enough time.
That's enough time.
Okay.
I do agree. I lost 1 pound. I'm very happy about that. I'll explain later. But 1 pound. I have my shirt. Life is good because life is good. And so I've lost a total of 44 pounds. I was telling Denise yesterday I was kind of bummed because I hadn't lost any weight. And she told me I was getting complacent. And then I kept telling her that wasn't the right word. But you know what? Denise was right. That is the right word.
Let me fall over here.
Mark it down on your calendar. Denise was right. Because I just would take it for granted. But then we haven't walked. So
I walked this morning.
I
on
walked
my
around my
treadmill.
house for an hour, although I only did it in 12-minute spurts. But I walked around 6 times because I really only had to do it 5 times. But I walked 6 times just for good measure. And not all at once, just in different times. And so anyway, I was going to talk today about things that I'm thankful for since Thursday's Thanksgiving. And the first thing I'm thankful for is my faith. I am very thankful that I believe in God, and not the ISIS God where you got to go kill yourselves, but a holy God that looks out over me. And I raised my children, and they're good too. I wish they'd bring their children to church a little more often than they do, but they don't. I always tell them that you teach them reading and writing and things like that at home, but you send them to school for that backup support. And I think the same thing is true of church. That I think you can give up an hour or 2 of your day. And I'm tired when people say, well, I'm on the golf course and I'm thinking about God. And, I'm out at the park or at the zoo and I'm thinking about God. And see, that just doesn't fly with me. It's like you have to make a commitment that you do go to church. Even if you don't listen to the priest and you just sit there and meditate and talk to God. Just being alone. Because how many people are really going to sit in their room and just sit there for an hour and not talk? That's not going to happen. But I do find myself feeling bad that I don't talk to God more than I do. A lot of times I'm flipping through the channels and I settle on something when really I could just sit in the chair and listen to him, and he would talk to me, and I know he would. But I just don't seem to have the time for him. And I know that's terrible to say and I'm ashamed to admit it. But the bad thing is whenever you need him, he's always there. He doesn't say, oh, you ignored me last week, I'm not going to pay any attention to you, because he does. He pays attention to you all the time. So that's my little rant on the religion. I'm just very, very glad that I have, and I have a friend that she's a Methodist, and I always tease her and tell her I'm going to get to heaven first. And, really, as long as you live a good life, you're going to get to heaven. But anyway, so the second thing I'm thankful for is my family. I'm sure you know how much my family means to me. I know they say you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. Well, my family are my friends, and so I think I kind of lucked out on that. I'm not saying that we don't have our disagreements. If you look back to our summer tape, when we all were like, but that's true of anything. But see, with family, you kind of have to forgive them somewhere along the line, because they're going to turn up like at a family function, whether it's a wedding or a funeral or a birthday party or something. They're going to show up. Your friends, you can kind of avoid those parties, but you can't really avoid a family function. But my children mean the world to me. I am so blessed that God gave them to me, and my grandchildren are even more. It's just like, I'm not a hugger, but I just love when they come up and they hug me and that. And if I say something to them and they remember, like Sebastian remembered that his job is to get the ice cream out of the freezer, and so when he came on Friday for family dinner, he made a point of telling me, that's my job. Nobody else is going to do it. So he was just all anxious about doing it, and that kind of made me feel kind of good. And then Oliver reminded me that I had to go to the store and buy him some more chocolate milk because I didn't have any chocolate milk for him. So, but anyway. But like I said, family, I'm very thankful for my family. And the third thing that I'm thankful for is my country. I'm very fortunate to live in this country. I go on my rants about Medicare, and I go on different rants about how the presidents are elected. But I wouldn't live anywhere else. This is where I want to live. And I get upset with people when they say that the government doesn't do enough. And I know at this time of year, you're putting money in the barrel for the Salvation Army, the bell ringers, and you're giving extra money at church, and you're giving extra food to the food banks and stuff, and you're working at the food banks, but there's 12 months in the year. What do you do in the other 10 and 11 months? You know, I think that you kind of lose that spirit. It's just at Christmas time, and those people are hungry all year round. And I know that the government should take care of the people here, but what I like about our government is that they take care of the less fortunate, and that's what Jesus says, they take care of the less fortunate. There's a lot of less fortunate in this country. I know that. But we as individuals can be doing a lot more for them than we do. And I'm just as guilty. I whenever I go shopping, I put $1 in every time. And the Christmas shopping, I go to a lot of different stores, and I'm popping that $1 in. And I'm giving extra food at food time and that. But I'm not ashamed to admit that I took advantage of government-assisted programs when my children were younger. I wanted them to eat. I wanted them to have heat in the house, other than the time when I was not with the furniture. I had the money, but it's just I screwed it on something else. But now it's my turn to pay it back, and I don't seem to be doing it like I should. As far as veterans go, yes, they definitely should be doing way more for veterans. They've given their lives for us. They've given up limbs. They've given up their family life just for us. So I do think that we should be doing more. But in the same sense, I don't go and volunteer at a hospital for VAs. I don't do anything extra for that, so, you know, who am I to say? But anyway, I don't mean to be depressing or anything, because I am very thankful about a lot of things, but that's, you know. And then my next thing that I'm thankful for is I'm thankful for my financial well-being. I am by no means rich, but I'm very comfortable. I can go and get whatever I want. I've always got food on the table. We're going to have a fine feast on Thanksgiving. I have no room to complain about anything. But if anybody out there wants to send me a check for $1 million, I'll take any donations. You just let me know. I'll give you my address. You can mail it to me, because I'm not needy, but, you know, I'm not going to turn a gift horse in the mouth. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, because, you know, I can always use some extra money. Everybody can. Even millionaires, they're always trying to make more money, because, you know what, you never have enough. And lastly, I'm going to try not to cry during this part, because it's very emotional for me. But I'm thankful for Denise for starting this channel. And I know she's going to, you know, think that it's anything, but it's just, she literally saved my life. I know that she thinks I'm being overly dramatic, and a lot of times I am overly dramatic. I know that. But back in July, when 4th of July weekend, when we were in the pool, I weighed 306 pounds. Now, you know my history with every time that 50-pound click goes over, I could give a rat's ass how far it goes. And once I pass that, I've lost all ambition to lose weight. I have no problem gaining weight. So I know that I probably, instead of losing the 44 pounds that I did lose, I probably would have gained the 44 pounds that I lost. So for that, I'm thankful for Denise for having that for my channel, and for starting me on this journey with all of you. And I'm glad that you all keep me in check and, you know, keep me in line. But and this is for finding my light. I watched her video over the weekend, and she was saying about how she's an emotional eater and she eats when she's stressed, and I can totally relate to that, because I too am a stress eater. I think that if I eat a cupcake, I'm going to feel better. And for that quick moment I have the cupcake, I do feel a little bit better. I remember when I was gaining all this weight, as I was doing my bills each month, I rewarded myself afterwards with like ice cream sundae or cupcakes or something, because I just didn't have enough money to pay all my bills. But, you know, I thought, well, the food will take its place. And for that quick hot minute it did, but it's just not. So I am a stress eater. And so this gets back to why I'm so happy that I only lost a pound this week, because my last month I had a very stressful month. It was very stressful for me, and thanks to Denise, she helped pull me through it. I don't know if you remember that back 4 weeks ago on our whatever Wednesdays, I was telling you about going for the mammograms and how it's all a racket now and they don't want you, and how I'd want a false positive. And Denise says, oh, don't put that out there. Don't put that out there in the universe. And I went, oh, you know, what do you know? What do you know? Well, I went for my mammogram, and 2 days later they called me and told me that I had to come back and have another mammogram. But I wasn't really overly concerned, because, you know, like I said, I figured it was going to be a false positive, so I wasn't, you know, okay, I'll come back. So I went back, and then 2 days later, they called me again and said, no, you know, you need to come back. We need to take a little deeper look. So now I'm a little concerned. So I went back and had another mammogram. Quite sure that it was going to be fine, but it wasn't. So they called me back again and told me I had to come back again. So I had to go back again for an ultrasound. Still, I'm thinking I'm doing pretty good. I'm not telling anybody. The only ones that knew was Jim and Denise. I just didn't want to burden anybody with it. I didn't want them to worry. So I went for my ultrasound, and the next day they called me and told me that they did find something and that I had to go and have a biopsy, which I was going to go to by myself. But because Jim was going to go hunting, and then when he found out I had to have the biopsy, he said he wasn't going to go hunting. And I told him he had to go hunting because he goes hunting every year. He's been hunting for 30, 40 years. And if he was to miss going, my kids would know something was up because he never misses hunting. So I said, you know, there's nothing you can do. I'll go and have the biopsy. You can't go in the room with me anyhow. I'm not going to get the results to the end of the week. You might as well just go. Took a little bit of convincing, but I convinced him to go. And he called me every day to see how I was doing. And Denise insisted on bringing me, even though I wanted to go by myself. I didn't really want to go by myself, but, you know, I was trying to have my big girl pants on and go by myself. But Denise brought me, and I'm very thankful for that. And so I went and had the biopsy. And during that whole week, I never prayed. I just never prayed because it got back to me thinking about how I was going to talk to God. Now I need him. Now I really do need you, so I am going to talk to you. But I didn't. So I never prayed that whole week. So obviously somebody was praying for me because the doctor called me on Thursday and told me the results came back that it was benign. I cried more on that day than I did for the whole 4 weeks. I'm sorry I'm crying. I'm an ugly crier. But it was just such an emotional month for me. And so for the whole month, I didn't eat. I would stop to think before I would want to eat something. Are you eating because it's an emotional thing? You're going to feel better once you eat? Or do you want to eat because you're really hungry? And 9 times out of 10, it was because I was really hungry. No, it was because I wasn't hungry. And 9 times out of 10, it was because I was being emotional about it. So I really watched myself. And when I got the results, then I did talk to God. And now, and I'm sad to say that it took this for me to do it, I do take time out of my day every day. I sit in a chair by myself and just sit and listen. Sometimes he talks to me, sometimes he doesn't, but I know that he's not too busy for me. I just know that. So finding my light, if I can get through all of this stress, you can get through your stress. So hopefully I'm not too much of a downer for you tonight. It's just, there's just a few of the things I'm very thankful for. So when you have your Thanksgiving meal this week, be thankful for everything that you have around you, and be thankful for your family, your friends, your religion if you have a religion, and your financial well-being. And I guess that's about it. Like I said, I'm so sorry I was such a downer, but it was just such hard. We have breast cancer in our family, on my mother's side, so it's just, I always go to the end. You know me in death. that's just who I am, and I really thought I was gonna die. I really did. And the lump, I couldn't feel it on the self-examination, and the doctor couldn't feel it either. It was so small, it was like the size of a pea, which brings me back to go and have it done. I go every year faithfully. It was not there last year when I went in October, and this year it was. So that's the way it goes. But now, on a good note, if I ever get a criminal mind element out there to chop up on my body, I have eye implants that have identifying numbers. I have knee implants that have identifying numbers. And now in my breast, I have a titanium little pin thing, so that when I go for my future mammograms, they'll know that that area was biopsied, and they'll just look at it a little bit differently. So I'm all set in that regard. But once again, try to end this on a happy note. I have no quotes this week. I'm just so happy about everything. So, like us, subscribe, comment, and share. Oh, and one more thing. I'm thankful that Denise didn't get mad at me because I think I'm pretty close to the 20 minutes and she didn't cut me off. So
No, you're only at 15 and a half.
oh, see, I did that pretty good. I guess I'm pretty good.
I didn't want to tell you that you'd add some.
No, I won't add anything. But I once again thank you all for staying with me on my journey. I'm almost halfway there. 44 pounds. So I got 6 more pounds to my halfway mark. So I love you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching. See you Wednesday. Bye.